Will now be offering the mandala offering.
Chanza wanda jujun shambanda jesu yeran kushin sowa ye gyawa junsen dangen jesa tam jen zobe janjun jiringo benziren bome ahu shi yonsu namba wanjen seringen sa shi Om Benzarenge Ahon Jin Jari Koryungen Korwe Uzon Le Rin Gyambo Rai Shara Lumbambo Lon Sambol Num Bala Je Jan Taminye Lundan Lumba Ngayam Da Ngayashe Yuden Da Lam Jondo Taminye Da Taminye Rinpoche Riwam Basam Geshen Denjem Vamba Mamam Londo Kolo Rinpoche Nargo Rinpoche Zomo Rinpoche Lombo Rinpoche Lambo Rinpoche Danjo Rinpoche Mambu Rinpoche Deren Chembu Bombay Gewa Ma Tewa Ma Lu Ma Gama Medo Ma Dumbe Ma Nasa Ma Dija Ma Nye Ma Dawa Rinpoche Do Chole Nambaran Gewe Gesa Lada Meye Bajo Ponson Zoba Mazawa Meba Dinye Zawanda Gibra Jib Lama Damba Namda Yida Gengoranje Lazo Sanje Da Janjo Semben Sodan Jeba Namlambo Dunjen Doen Dando Shenso Se Jene Jing Landun Se Sajen Benjun Jujen Mendon Da Reja Linshen Yenden Gemba Sanje Shindo Mingdian Bulwa Yendo Gua Lambda Shinlan Jumbarasho Yidan Guru Rana Mandal Gandarya Daya Me Ganri Rawe Gurwe Shingansa Pandan Dewa Mali Jungwe Jinri Zewa Denzin Gyamzo Yin Shambe Senden Band Den Gyuro Nji Lama Kukan Sanwara Sowan Den Chodon Goze Rinwara Sowan Den Chenlen Darjin Gembaras Lama Dar Dewa Me Jin Ye Lu.
The welcome speech by Khenpo Rinpoche. He is the abbot of the avid administrator of the Buddha Garden.
Hola, so ani tring dang aso dwa Ewam tane sanji tong linka di nang lo la ta lotar ngaso tane shibde gin zego tane chi ten chu nang ke yore ani di khala ya tata tane phab nang bi ge ani khan mu che tane namcha doji tang ani tega na yin ge tata yeshu ge la chen dang ani tata ngaso phe ge tane kungu sorpa ani riga doji ani tega na yin ge ka sere tene mezula ge tata leje ani ka sere tata gela ana tega na yin ge ani Steven Seagal dan laman somo la sobata dari dana tene chedong ge ani mana tamche dang tambote chena.
Okay, so good morning, very warm welcome to everybody here. So we observe this annual Peace Festival every year, and for this year I would like to welcome everybody for this occasion. I want to extend my special invitation or Tashidelek to Khenpo Namjak Dorje, the personal secretary of the founder of the Garden of 1000 Buddhas, and then the Reverend Armstrong, the chaplain of the state of Montana, and then we have Mr. Rika Dorje, former senior staff of the Tibetan government in exile or Tibetan administration in exile. And then we have Anna Lodwich, who is a Mizola community member, and Lama Chomo, the founder and the head of the Namjak Foundation. They are yet to show up anyway. And then Mr. Stephen Small Salmon, the head important figure, spiritual figure of the Flathead Reserve, Native American. Yeah.
Ani digana yinge ta lotar dwala nyam yokche ngaso nyam de ropa nangenge ani ta yedang royang chopa namta ani digana yinge ta ya chongkhang da ani de sakhang la sopa ta tendrige mixe ta lotar ngaso dwala ropa nang de ge thamche ta an digana yin tring dwala nyam yokche nge chetang ge ta kasere di mana tham che la nge ge te tren Ewam Garden ge chapje de thomer ani chenamba la shuka tashi dele dang ani dana phaba la pe cutting che sia tendencies.
And I also would like to extend my warm invitation and pay our gratitude to those musicians, bands, and individuals or organizations who contributed their time and energy for the Ewam Garden of 1000 Buddhas for this occasion, and our Sangha members of the Garden of 1000 Buddhas. So without your effort, without everybody's contribution, we wouldn't be that successful. So I would like, on behalf of the Ewam Garden of 1000 Buddhas, I would like to say thank you to everybody and welcome to everybody.
So, ani da ngaso de garden de tene zogu bi jimsan raw de zo da tari ngaso pe jing zambelang de so jing ne ani pen zambelang de pe chembo re an so jing ne zambelang de sang de chung chung de wo cha gi yo de tham chi da la kwa ge phom chi gi na lo la tan zambelang chama chi ha ko nge so de tene cha gi yo de tene de song za me de so tham chi da go tung da ma song ne pe da cherin rongen ra da ting sang de cha de gi yo de an tene song za da tendri gi kab la ani ngaso ge chi kiba namje parts drawing chechene any jig kodute jigla peya down and digana ying parts at an ending tunder yunya down and then tunder yawoji charge any dig then it jar zambeling dig tolaya tangazo shibde down and kasere jig losu zambo tesotanji parts peria down kodu yunya ota tendrig me you into gabla and naso dana jigta ris machi big and manatamchin zong yores.
So the purpose or the intention of the founding this Garden of 1000 Buddhas by His Eminence Tulku Sang-ngag Rinpoche, the main purpose is to create global peace, to develop some sense of universal responsibility and peace. And on the one hand, from one perspective, the world is big. But from another perspective, the world is very small. These days, if you have the mobile phone, smartphone, the world is in your palm. So it's a small as well as big world. So here the purpose is to build up interconnectivity, to build up a positive interdependence, to build up a sharing of different viewpoints. That's why we have here important speakers from different schools, different spiritual traditions. So through these kind of positive initiatives, we intend to build a more peaceful, prosperous, more progressive kind of a world.
Aninda terengi tisu telwa yang dan dabala chik kiwang nambare re lachen nambare kiwang nambare te thamche ge ani dabala chik mamang chal phya ge ta songche re ani loksu re tende chen ramada pe mangbo chik dini ma ka che nang gu yore ani de ge mo changma la ya phentu chenbo yung ya chik dang ani tega na jing ge ta tren jing a so nam chi te so yang o si yaw po do ten da song za tham che pe chi po yung ya ge ten ngarang ga pe re ba chen bo yos.
So the speakers that we have invited today for this occasion, they are from different walks of life. They are very important players in the society, and we intend that their lectures or advices or guidances to us would be beneficial for us, and the ripple goes on, and the weather is also, though it is not sunny, but it is not against us today. It is pretty fine weather, and so I hope that everybody here can enjoy the day.
Aninda taring aso di peace festival se tange ke deso yago ta ko ji mare ta ga chen ji dewa ngaso ta group chung chung da ji se go mare be an tende chen ji ngaso yang zambelen dig tholo yedu an ji shibde yung ya la ya ngaso la lengen yore an tende song za ngaso ge tari di ji shibde tham chin tunder je tromyan tunyan de an maung ba la ya zambelen ge tholo ya peji chenpo tang, zambalen tamche tene di shibde yungya tang, zambalen tamche tene kasiri chikpo yungya, o tendrige ane ngege tata malan tang ji, ane jole ya tamche le tukji ches, te tendrige tren samjagis.
So this, by the observation of this special occasion today, though we are gathered here, a small group, and for this peace festival, I may not be pronouncing it in a correct way, but peace festival, for this peace festival, from one standpoint, this may not be a big crowd, but we are gathered here. We are a conglomeration of humanity, and we are part and parcel of this world. So with this small gathering, we have the good intention, positive intention to to develop or generate some positivity or universal responsibility towards our world and the inhabitants in this world. And I really hope from the bottom of my heart that our effort, whatever small may be, may it make a difference to the whole world.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next giving consecration will be the Reverend Paul Armstrong. Reverend Armstrong is a 30-year retired chaplain. I can't count, I'm sorry. A retired chaplain with the Army. He is a minister over 8 churches, over 1 district, and a conference for 39 years. He spent 14 years as the Montana State Chaplain to the Chapel of 4 Chaplains. And we would like to welcome him up.
You all aren't going to leave me, are you? I'm Reverend Paul Armstrong. How many cannot hear me? When I graduated from the seminary, 1 of 3, the bishop at that time said, Armstrong, you don't need a microphone, thus we're not going to give you one. Hashi and that. Greetings to all. Dominus vobiscum. Welcome to this, the 15th Annual Peace Festival, and most importantly, the consecration of this newly constructed Peace Pavilion. From Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, I find the word peace, P-E-A-C-E. It is described as the state of tranquility or quiet. The state of security, oppressive thoughts or emotions. The word tranquility reminds me of a spot called Tranquility Base. The moon. It was there in July of 1969 when humans landed and walked on another celestial body for the first time. They experienced peace and tranquility. This Peace Pavilion was constructed with the mind set to enrich the lives of all who enter and commune within these walls, to pursue individually and collectively a measure of peace for all, to learn or grasp the concept of enrichment, the personal, social, international, and environmental partnership with all of humankind. May this site, soon to be consecrated, experience the building of peace for this generation and the generations to come. During my active duty military career, one of my assignments was to South Korea in 1966. While serving in this foreign country, a new attitude was spread upon myself, and I learned more of another culture. Aesop's fable titled The North Wind and the Sun taught of traditional ways of dealing in peace with all whom we come in contact with. It need not be an attitude of forced persuasion, but that of peace. May this peace pavilion be yet another place where all participants may truly experience, where persuasion over force may be a peaceful way to cope in this world we live in today, and then all of our tomorrows. Let each of us here today, and those who will follow, learn the lesson of this hour, that peace must rule the way of our thoughts and our endeavors. This place will grant unto those who seek love, hope, fulfillment, and peace in their lives. We take solemn thankfulness in our hearts for those who labored to bring this peace pavilion to what it symbolizes today. Those who wish may join myself as I walk the four corners of this peace pavilion. It shall be consecrated and dedicated to the garden of 1,000 Buddhas for all eternity. This ends our words here. If you wish, you may walk with me to the first station of the north for the words of consecration to be offered. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Repeat after me. We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
Please follow with me. Beloved, in the name, we rejoice that this peace pavilion was put into being and thus consecrate this ground. This ground has been set apart to be hallowed for those who shall commune upon this ground and peace pavilion. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Repeat after me. We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
Please follow with me. Beloved, in the name, we rejoice that this peace pavilion was put into being and thus consecrate this ground. This ground has been set apart to be hallowed for those who shall commune upon this ground and peace pavilion. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Repeat after me. We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
Please follow with me. Beloved, in the name, we rejoice that this peace pavilion was put into being and thus consecrate this ground. This ground has been set apart to be hallowed for those who shall commune upon this ground and peace pavilion. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Repeat after me. We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
We consecrate this ground and peace pavilion.
You're dismissed.
Please welcome Stephen Small-Seven.
Brown cow. Yeah. Today's a big day for all of us. Where's Rinpoche? Pardon? He's not going to be here? while I'm going. Yeah, it's always a great pleasure to be here. And it seems like we're getting more and more people. And that's good. It is really good for us, you know. And I remember when I first started here, I don't know how many years ago, I used to come here, had that hill blessed this place, blessed the place down there, and it made me feel good, you know. Made me feel good for many things. For my heart, I do a lot of prayers. Would you please sit down there, doctor? How do I know him? We sweat together all the time on Tuesdays. But anyway, you know, getting older, supposed to get wiser. And I was born as my language, Pondere Indian. And the thing is, you know, it's been Indian, I had a rough life. And I lived in Ronan, Montana, down the road there for most of my life. It was pretty rough for me. I went to a lot of boarding schools. You know, I didn't decide to go, but in those times, if you didn't go to school, they found out and they sent you away to boarding schools. And I went to Pierre, South Dakota. I went to the Ursulines. And I went to Lawrence, Kansas, Haskell, they call it, Indian schools. And the thing is, today, you know, being elder, when I was very young, I used to see, I was raised Indian, and my language, I still talk Indian. And my, just down the road here, in Kusum by Arley, we got a merchant school going on. We are losing our language in our Indian ways. I remember my elders used to tell me, some of these days we're going to lose our language, our ways. And it is true. And those times I didn't think we would lose our language. Because there are so many Indian people that talk Indian all the time. And while I was growing up, it started getting lesser and lesser and lesser. And it was sad. But today we're picking that up again, you know, teaching the language. And it's good. Because we are Indian people. We have to learn how to talk our language. And we've got a beautiful mountains, beautiful rivers, beautiful trees. Just everything is just so beautiful here. And different tribes move in here. We got a good college. We did have Job Corps, but we don't have that anymore. And to me, as an elder, I don't know if it's scary or not. I'm 80 years old now, and I look ahead of myself. There's not too many fluent speakers left anymore. What I'm talking about, fluent speaker, is talk all day in your language. Talk all day in your language, not just a few words. And I was one of the lucky ones, you know. But today, I don't even know if I'm the first one, you know. Am I the first one to talk or what? There's my boss right there. Are you the boss? Yeah. Am I the first one to talk? He just said, get your drum and get in here. I don't even know who he is. He might be a janitor, he might be, I don't know. But when I showed up, he said, just get in there. So here I am. But anyway, if I'm the first one, you guys just keep sitting down and I'm going to say prayer in my own language. Just keep sitting down. Yeah, tuk upia, kes atzal tuke shushuet, tama yeswin mars ketch, kes atzal, siet was, komi has tuke skut, suchut kes ya, tuke skesi, tuke susu weket hui hui. Achalas suskesi, she chaum. Jam las pools and mud sketch. Tamashe to get good to get sketchy. Leo ketsani a kessia. Good keks. So nomti keks goodlam suster. So chalesia. Committed ekethen el nest. Chen Quescui, Comi Hest, Sukes Scot. Tukes ya, can conmittal to Upies, to where Tamashe Suke Scot. Suchat Campele. I asked the creators to help us out today, that we learn from each other, that we learned many things here. We listened to, all of us, what's going on. Help us out, Creator. Help us out for everything. For when we go home here, watch over our roads, our house. When we get home, our houses are still sitting there. That's what I ask for today, for all of us. So that's my prayer for today. And I don't know what I was supposed to do, but every year I come here with Rinpoche and Linda Pitzker and the people, you know. They asked me to come here, and I was happy about that. I visited yesterday with some people from Idaho down the road there, and they had many questions to ask me. Because we're all people, you know, we're all the same, you know. Indian people, anybody, we're all the same, we got the same problems, you know. So that's what we're here for. To help them out, help each other out, to go a long ways. So anyway, today is a nice day. Did you hear my prayers? I was saying it in the Indian, you know, and I teach the language. Our kids are this big, all the way up to 8th grade. So those kids are learning their ways, language. And our language is a tough language. So anyway, I'll sing you a song. Where's that boss? Where's that janitor? Oh, there he is. How much time do I have? I went over, he said already. Yeah, I don't even know his name. So I'll sing you guys a song. And this is what my wife drew on my drum. Yeah. Yeah, she's an artist. She's sitting right there. Raise your hand. Yeah. We got so many pictures. My pictures don't even go up anymore. She takes them down. She takes my pictures down, you know. Yeah, all the pictures are up about myself, so she takes them down. And the thing is, it's really wonderful to be here. This is a new building, I see. Last year I come, we didn't have this building. We had it outside. So anyway, you know, been getting to be an elder, like I was telling you, years ago when I was still small, well, and we used to respect our elders. We used to respect everybody. I was born without no electricity. I thought it was pretty rough, you know, in those times. Never had any money, never nothing. Rode horses all the time, go hunting way up in the mountains. Now you travel around here, there's deer everywhere, elk everywhere. Down here, you know, we had to go across the mountains to go hunting. So it's really different for us today, you know. You could go in the store and buy some bologna, spam, garlic, well, you know, and wieners, you know, and chicken. They even got chicken in there, you know. Yeah, you go in there and you see this chicken, you know, if it loses its color, they paint it back up. And then sometimes, you know, you blow it back up, you know, and sell it. You don't care how long that chicken's in there, you know. Hey, don't go out and eat some chicken now. But anyway, I'm just telling you, you know. But it was a lot of fun in those times. It was a lot of, it showed you could survive during the winter times and all that. And when my dad used to tell me stories, he'd tell me the snow was this deep, and I would walk 7 miles to school. Now I'm doing that. You know, when I was young, the snow was this deep. And people, you know, out there, that I was only this tall, you know. So anyway, today I like to talk. I like to do a lot of things. I've been in the movies, commercials. The last one was the last beyond, you know. So anyway, I wanted to be somebody. But when I got in there, it was too tough for me. You had to learn your lines. You had to wrestle with a grizzly bear and, you know, things like that. It was tough for me. But today, I hope we enjoy ourselves. If you come a long ways, I hope you take this with you. And you say, you know, I went to the Buddhist camp, you know, and I had a lot of fun, you know. There's people don't even know about Buddhists, you know, till they come here, you know. There were some, my friends say, I wish I'd come and listen to them, you know. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope we'll meet again somewhere, you know. And I hope you enjoy our... Oh, I should have used those drums. I look like that, and they got a lot. Mine is just cold, and they're just flat. But anyway, I like to build in and everything. So thank you very much. Am I done now or what? Could I go home? What's your name anyway? What's your name anyway?
Shastri.
Okay, my name is Ewam Sangha. Okay, thank you. I know you guys going to give hugs. Yeah, I'll stop. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Where's Rinpoche? Is he coming? Well, I'll go home and come again. Thank you. I know you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up we have Betsy Mulligan-Daig. She is the Executive Director for the Jeanette Rankin Peace Center. She's going to be speaking to us today.
It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. The world today is filled with challenges: climate change, divisive politics, racism, poverty, economic disparity, homelessness, epidemics of addiction and suicide, overconsumption, violence, oppression. I could go on, but I know what would happen. You would all quit listening. The list is simply too long, and frankly, we no longer know what to do. Wendell Berry has given us the answer. It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. People often ask me if I don't get discouraged working for peace. Such an enormous concept and so difficult to see and impossible to obtain. But that is the real work. To see the challenges, to sit with the grief and the heartache, to witness, to love, and to have faith and hope, to keep working for that which we cannot see and cannot understand. No challenge is addressed by believing it is unattainable or impossible. You have to keep watching the news instead of changing the channel when it gets It's not a state of calm to be achieved, a lack of tension. When we seek that peace, we move toward the things that make us comfortable, bring us ease and comfort. And it is comfortable, but it is not peace. None of us alone can solve the daunting list of problems I listed earlier, but all of us together can make a difference. Everything on that list, every challenge, has one thing at its core: reverence. Reverence for all creation. It is the news story we need today, but it is also an ancient story, part of every faith tradition that we know, and something that we have been working to know for all time. It's far too easy for us to group creation into good and evil, to see the things we want to keep and be part of and the things we want to disavow. How many people in our lives do we dismiss or ignore? People we disagree with, people of a different political party, people of a different race or gender or religion, people that do things we don't like. When we dismiss or even hate them, we miss a valuable opportunity to be about the real work of peace. How many pieces of music have just one note? None. It is the discord of many notes together, as these fine folks behind me will tell you and play for you later, that makes music deep and beautiful. If we are truly here today to seek peace, we have to set aside ease and comfort and be willing to confront the places where we are uncomfortable. That is where our real work begins. It could be people we don't like or get along with, the neighbor with a certain other politician sign in their yard. It could be situations that give us grief or heartache, like the things happening in the Amazon or gun violence. Whatever it is, that feeling of discomfort, right down here, is asking you to approach, to explore what is needed for healing. There was a father who was worried his son was heading down the wrong path, so he brought him to a wise man for counsel and guidance. The wise man asked the boy to pull a weed. Okay, fine, the boy pulled a weed. Done. Next, the wise man asked him to pull a bigger weed. Okay, a little bit harder, but still okay. In the end, he asked the boy to pull up a tree. And he said, "Whatever the weeds in your life are, do not give them deep roots." We become the fruit of the things, the roots that we nurture and feed. They will either become the roots of compassion and reverence, or those of apathy and hatred. I'd like to ask you to take a moment and look inside and ask yourself, what are the roots that you are giving deep roots to? Are they things that are about reverence for all creation? Go deep and find the places and the things that make you uncomfortable, because it is there that you will find your real work. Many years ago, I quit smoking. I could not succeed until I faced my discomfort, both the discomfort of quitting, as well as the discomfort and the pain that I was causing by continuing. Only when I confronted that and was willing to sit with it and work through it could I succeed. Because after all, reverence for all creation is also reverence for ourselves, right? We can all find things to work on if we only look. If someone looks at your Facebook posts or the company you keep or the things that you spend your time and money on, do they speak of reverence for all creation, or do they speak of reverence for only some creation? One of the quotes that gives me great hope is from Joseph Campbell. Where we stumble, there's our treasure. We try hard not to stumble, don't we? We stick in groups of people that think like us. We don't rock the boat. We don't speak up when that little voice says something's wrong. But reverence for all creation requires us to stumble, to walk outside our comfort zone, to see the suffering, to recognize the other, to let the idea go that we know the truth, to quit being rooted to the belief that we are right, and to embrace the discomfort, the grief, the heartache, the tension that is the other. If the world is just a thing that we can use and throw away, and people who don't think like us are the enemy, then we are not rising to the work of peace. By making others the enemy, you're not encouraging them to heal. It's only by treating them with reverence that we can come together. The challenges of our world are great. They require us to change the way we think so that we can rise to be great with them. Think about the list I gave you earlier. Climate change, divisive politics, racism, poverty, economic disparity, violence, oppression, suicide, addiction, overconsumption. We have been taught to solve these problems by looking for the person or the group to blame. The problem with that is that it is a diversion away from the grief that keeps us connected. If we are paying attention to who's to blame, we're not looking at the set of conditions that's actually generating the problem. If those things don't change, then even if we take down the people we blame, the problem will reappear. Isn't that what's been happening? In the mindset of win or lose, the narrative will never change. Albert Einstein used to say that out of every hour he spent looking at problems, 55 minutes was spent exploring the problem, and only 5 minutes trying to look for solutions. We are far too quick to want to sew everything up neatly, find the blame and move on, or think about other people that need to change. Because once blame is assigned, once the problem is someone else's, then we can sit back. It's no longer our problem. That narrative will no longer work for the world we live in. The challenges we face belong to all of us. It is time for us to look beyond the blame at the things that make us uncomfortable, to look at the things that challenge us, to witness, to grieve, to explore together the places where reverence is needed, and then be about that work. I'd like to leave you with Wendell Berry's full poem titled Our Real Work. It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that does not sing. Thank you to Rinpoche, to all of the folks from Ewam for having me here in this beautiful new Peace Pavilion, to all of you for your attention, and let us go in reverence and peace.
Coming up, we have a number by the Drum Brothers. In the meantime, a couple of things. If you're sitting in the yard, we have open seats in here, and the Peace Pavilion is open to everybody. So please come in and join us. I believe the Drum Brothers are coming on now.
Hello, everyone. We've got some volume. We're going to go ahead and perform a piece between speakers, and then a little later we're going to be doing a full set. It's such an honor to be here at the Peace Festival. It's been a tradition of ours since it began. We're going to do a famous piece from Guinea, West Africa, to the rhythm Yankadi, two rhythms that are paired together, Yankadi Makru. And we'd love to have you sing along with us for this sentiment of peace in this song. Mother, I'm coming home. I'm tired of fighting. I'm not going to fight anymore. Melissa. us out here. Mother, I'm coming home. Mother, I'm coming home. I'm not gonna fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting. I'm not gonna fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting. How loud can we sing, everybody? Mother, I'm coming home. Mother, I'm coming home. I'm not gonna fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting. I'm not gonna fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting. Ashe. Put your hands together. Can you feel the rhythm? Can you feel the rhythm? Let's bring the rhythm into our hearts. Let's bring coherency. Hey, hey.
There are still some seats for the folks that are sitting out on the lawn. You're welcome to come in. And if that didn't get your blood moving, your blood can't move. That was incredible. Next up, we have Anna Lukowicz. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing all these names right. She is an educational professional from right here in Missoula. And while she's on her way up here, I just want to remind everybody to stop by the gift shop and put your bid in on the auction items. You can walk while I'm talking. I'll stop when you get up here. So everyone give a warm welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna Lukowicz, and I am a teacher by profession. I teach French and ESL. which is how I met Kempo, who invited me to speak today. I told him that I didn't know if I was the best choice to talk about something as broad as wisdom in the modern times, but he convinced me that I could come up with something. So on this flyer, I'm listed as a member of the Missoula community, and I'm happy to see that because I wasn't always a good member of the Missoula community. I spent a large portion of my life feeling like I didn't fit in, feeling like I wanted to look good to others, trying to create the person I thought that I should be, and striving for an unattainable perfection. With that came a lot of discomfort and unhappiness, and I began engaging in some really self-destructive behavior that not only hurt me, but all the people around me. And there came a point where I was pretty scared and hopeless and sad and didn't really know where to turn. So the wisest thing I ever did, and what I can offer to you, is to ask for help. In doing so, I learned that I wasn't alone anymore and that there were people who were by my side no matter what. And I didn't have to continue living like I was if I didn't want to. So admitting that I couldn't manage life as I had been was a huge relief, but letting go of all those past behaviors and patterns that didn't serve me well proved to be the bigger challenge. With help, I learned to look at all of my flaws and to be completely honest about how my behaviors had affected those around me. Once I became willing to surrender my ego and my will to a greater good, and began to make reparations to those in the community in my life, my need to become someone that I wasn't or someone that I thought I should be kind of dissipated. And I was able to stop creating wreckage in my life. So I learned that if I continually surrender my will to the greater good and let go of the outcome of that I can be of more service to other people. I've learned to say yes wherever possible, which is why I'm here today. And that the flaws and imperfections that weighed so heavily on my head and my conscience before can actually be used as assets to help other people if and when they so choose to ask. Now that I'm not all that I think about, I take daily actions towards being the woman, the person that I want to be. And this has opened up a lot of space in my life to become a more conscious and productive member of the community, a more mindful and compassionate parent, partner, teacher, and just basically a more happy and free human being. In closing, I encourage anybody who's facing challenges to ask for help because it's always there if we ask for it. There are always people who are willing to work towards a solution, for a solution. And in doing so, you open up a world of wisdom of the people that have walked before you. Thank you.
All right, we got another set by the Drum Brothers, or another song by the Drum Brothers coming up. I'm going to make an announcement again. We still have a credit card that was lost, so if you are missing a credit card, please come to the Peace Pavilion and pick it up. And I think we're ready, and I feel like I'm leaving dead air. Dead air is terrible in this business.
You got to have some...
This isn't radio.
Some
Don't
peace humor.
This is a time for quiet meditation while we wait for them. And it's very appropriate.
We're okay with that. Just setting up a different configuration here, so we're going to do a little switching here. We're kind of sound checking as we go, which is fun.
right, some more housekeeping. If there is a Peggy Kerr in the house or on the property, please come to the sound booth. A Peggy Kerr. Moving on, our next speaker is Lama Tsomo. Lama Tsomo studied with Tulku Sang-ngag. I knew I was going to mispronounce that. Hang on. Tulku Sang-ngag Rinpoche. 25 years ago, she was ordained as a Lama in 2005. She co-founded both Ewam and the Namchak Retreat Ranch. After focusing on this, she started working on the retreat ranch, holds retreats on both coasts and online, and is also a great person to nerd out talking about permaculture and that sort of thing, if you ever have a desire to. We'd like to welcome her. Yeah, it's on.
You guys can hear me? Okay. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to the new Peace Pavilion. Yeah. Well, that beautiful music was a hard act to follow, but I'm going to try. So earlier we heard about a lot of us and them thinking that's going around these days. I mean, it's always been going around, right? But it seems like it's accentuated these days, and like there's really such a huge division between us and them. And so Betsy was talking about we need to do our inner work. Well, what could that be? Fortunately, there is some ancient wisdom we can apply to this, even though this is a very modern problem, ancient and modern problem. It turns out, you know, people have been thinking in this us and them way for a long time. So recently, I geeked out not about permaculture, but about this question of unconscious bias. Have you heard of this implicit bias idea? So people who developed the test for that wrote a book called Blind Spot. And it's a blind spot because it's unconscious, and of course we're the last to be conscious of our own unconscious. So it's a little bit tricky there. Well, one thing they talked about in that book that I just was sort of struck by was there's this one part of the brain that we use to think about ourselves, and then when we're thinking about other people or interacting with them, we use a whole different part of our brain to process. Well, it turns out that anybody we think of as like me, so one of us, gets processed in this me part of the brain. So I thought, my God, how embarrassing to be human. I mean, really. We actually have it like built into our brains, this us and them thinking. But when you think of how we developed in tribal societies where we had to be concerned about our tribe, and then was there an intruding tribe, and so on and so forth, you begin to see how that might be the case. But the implications nowadays are terrible, right? We can't afford to think that way anymore. So how do we get past this that's actually built into our brains? Ah, there is a way. You assume there would be, or I wouldn't be up here talking about it, right? Yeah, so there's a practice that I'm going to teach you. And it's an ancient Tibetan practice that is very foundational. Anybody can do it. And it's based on visualization and breathing. Now, visualization is something we all actually do. Like, we have internal conversations with people all the time, and we imagine them in our heads and have this interaction, right? So this practice is built on that. It's called, I would say, sending and taking, Donglen in Tibetan. And if you go online to namchak.org, I can lead you tirelessly in this practice anytime. You can just click on it again and again, and I'll lead you through the practice. But I'm going to teach you now and lead you through it. So what happens is we start by thinking of a problem that we have, that we're suffering from. And we practice compassion. this practice is a compassion practice, so that we're taking away suffering and giving out happiness. So that's why the name, Taking and Sending. So I like to start with myself and something that's really up for me. Now, everybody probably has a particular thing that's up for them, but I'm going to pick something that I think we all can relate to because it happens for us from time to time, which is that we're misunderstood. So a lot of times we project on each other back and forth, all kinds of things. Stuff that I don't want to see in myself, I project on the other person. People I identify as them, of course I'm going to project all kinds of stuff on them. So we all know that feeling of being projected upon, right? And then we all think, well, but I don't do that, right? Well, of course, somebody's doing it. And the thing is that it's unconscious. So if we can identify first ourselves and then step this out to my people, and then people the next rung out, and then people beyond that, what I'm thinking seems to happen is we begin to identify everybody as us, as my tribe. And imagine if everybody did that. So we can start with ourselves. So let's do it right now. So I'd like you to think of some time when you've been misunderstood, when you've been thought of in a way that, no, that's not me. And it's painful, right? So you're going to imagine, and I like to close my eyes when I do this. Imagine your own suffering self right inside your heart. And you're going to take away that suffering. And imagine that suffering as this like dense clouds, dark, dense clouds. And you're going to take them into your heart as you breathe in. You want to take that suffering away, and so you breathe it in, and imagining, like I said, these dense, dark clouds. Breathe those in, and then you breathe out bright, spacious clouds that go into that suffering one, tucked inside your heart, that little version of you. All right, so let's take a few breaths for ourselves and pick a specific time you've been misunderstood, a specific thing you've been misunderstood about. And breathe in those dense clouds into your heart that's surrounding that little one. And breathe out. And as you do, you imagine those clouds sinking into that small suffering one. You've taken away the suffering, and now you're replacing it with being seen. That's what we all really want, to be truly seen. And so that sinks in, and you see that little one starting to smile. So breathe again, breathing in any leftover suffering. And as you exhale, those clouds soak into, the bright clouds soak into that little one. And breathing again. Now, imagine somebody who's close to you, who you know has been misunderstood at some point. You see them in front of you, and you see their suffering face. Naturally, you care for this person. You want to take their suffering away. And so you breathe in those dark, dense clouds right into your heart. Your heart is like a doorway. And through that doorway comes the joy and bliss and wisdom that's all around us all the time. And so then it's easy to send bright clouds of joy and happiness into that person. So again, breathe in the suffering. And on the exhale, the bright, spacious clouds. See them soaking into that person. Now maybe you can think of somebody else who you also feel close to. And surely they've felt this kind of suffering before. And so you want to take their suffering away too. You breathe in the dark, dense clouds right into your heart. And your compassion does this alchemy and can access the great ocean of joy all around us. And through that doorway can come joy in the form of those bright, spacious clouds that you send to that person. And you see them smiling. Now you might imagine whole groups of people. For example, everybody in this room. Every one of us has suffered this same kind of pain. And so we don't want anybody in this room to suffer. And so we breathe in the suffering of everyone here. And we breathe out the joy, the spacious clouds into everyone here. We may not have met most of the people in this room, and yet it feels so good to take away their suffering and bring them happiness. Now you might imagine people who have been deeply misunderstood, people of some sort of minority, whether it be people of color, transgender, whatever it might be, and all of the projections they've experienced. And so we want to take away their suffering. We breathe it in. And it goes through that doorway of our hearts. And then we exhale billows and billows of these spacious, bright clouds, going into all of them. Well, we know that everyone, ongoing really, experiences this pain of being misunderstood, being projected on. And actually, we don't want anyone to suffer. And so we breathe in from all directions, breathing in that suffering, and breathing out the spacious, joyous clouds to everyone in all directions, imagining it soaking into everyone. And breathing again. And this is waging peace. Thank you.
Next up, we have another number by the Drum Brothers.